So in some cases, it's very important to regard the suppliers as our customers. So let's have a look at the checkpoints for customer identifications in case customers are the buyers or the final consumers. Okay, gender, age group, income property level, reason. Those are really important factor in profiling the customers. So for example, there's an example of profile of our target customers. In our example, I have illustrated that our customer is retired from big company recently, and our customer profile is the customer is in their mid-50s, living in Gangnam, Seoul. So as you can see, it's very specific. I'm not saying that our customer is just any person who can buy our product. So if I sell the automobiles, how do you define your target customers? You may say that anybody who can buy the automobiles can be my customers. That's right, but those are not specific. Why do we have to specify our target customers? In case you specify your target customers as specific as possible, it's better for you to build the strategy to serve your customers very well. So in defining your target customers, think about what are the gender of your customers, because traditionally men and women are very different in purchasing the goods or the products. Men and women have different preferred colors, and the size of the products may be different based on the men and women, and the fundamental motivation to buy the products are totally different. Okay, so age group is also very important in targeting the customers. Something the customers needed in their 50s and 60s are totally different from those the people need in their 10s and 20s. And I now realize that when I was very young, I thought the peoples living in the same region have the similar philosophies and the similar thoughts, regardless of the ages. So if I live in South Korea, the people living in South Korea have something in common very wide. Okay, so even though the teenagers or the people in their 20s or the 50s, they share a very common things among each other. And there are a lot of differences between the people in South Korea and the people in North America and the people in Europe. But nowadays, because of the globalization, the differences between the geographical region has decreased significantly. So that means the peoples living in the teenagers are thinking or consuming the very similar products or way of thinking, regardless of their locations, whether they live in Mongolia or North America, South Korea, or Western Europe, the teens are sharing the very similar common grounds. And instead, there are big differences in way of consuming a lot of things, or the way of thinking among the people between among the age groups. So even though we are living in the South Korea, teenagers think totally differently from the people in their 50s and 60s. Their languages are different. Their way of thinking are so different. So the implication of this is that it's better to target the customers based on the age groups. So the reason to buy from the 50s are totally different from the 20s. So when you start a new business or when you build your business strategy, think very carefully, who are our targets we wanted to address, whether you want to target 20s or you want to target the 50s, whether you want to target the men or you want to target the women. So try to specify as specific as possible, and then it's easier for you to build the business strategy to address the needs of the wants of your target customers. Income property level is also important in terms of the segmenting the customers. The luxurious goods, which I have mentioned before, can be consumed in the group of the top income level customers, and the middle income customers may access to the luxurious goods, but their needs and wants, they cannot afford to spend a lot of money for the luxurious goods. So that's why the size of the market for the luxurious goods are very small or narrow down. So when you try to build your business strategy, think about the customer's gender, age group, or income property level. Or at the same time, think about the reason where the customers are residing or living. Maybe the motivation to buy something can be very different based on the reason people live. Okay, and then the next thing you have to check in identifying the customers and finding out the needs and wants is that whether they are the new customers or the regular customers. So you may decide whether you can focus on serving new customers or instead of acquiring new customers constantly, you may focus on your regular customers. And in that case, the number of the customers may not be very high, but you can serve those core customers repeatedly. So it's up to you whether you can decide to serve the new customers or regular customers. If you are running a restaurant and your restaurant is in front of the train station, and there are a lot of people coming and going in front of the train station, and you may think that you can target new customers only because there are lots of customers in front of the train station, and they want to have a quick lunch or dinner before taking the train. So in that case, something you have to develop is that the processing your food very quickly and be ready to serve the customers in time. But in case that you are in a certain area, but there are not a lot of people, there are not a lot of traffics, but there are some people, but the regular customers are coming and going. In that case, maybe you are inside the apartment complex of a certain area, and then you may target your regular customers. So the number of customers may not be very big, but one customer may visit your restaurant a couple of times. So service is really important, and recognizing who the customer is really important in that case. So in the example of our profile of target customers, our target customer is living in the metropolitan area of the capital city of South Korea, and he is a regular customer of our company for 10 years. Okay, so he has been our customer for a long time, for 10 years. So we know each other very well. So something they want, something the regular customers may want, might be totally different from something the new customers want. Okay, I also want to mention that in targeting the customers, you can decide whether you want to target the entire population of a certain area, or you can target a very small scope of the target customers. So I can call it whether you can target mass customers or you can target niche customers. Okay, what's the example of targeting the mass customers? If you are a retail bank in South Korea, one of the biggest retail bank is Kookmin Bank. It can be translated into the bank for the citizens. So they are targeting the entire population of the South Korean. So roughly, I think they have their number of the customers over 30 or 35 million people out of the total 50 million of the entire population of the South Korea. Or if you are the telecom company, and then you have to subscribe the telecommunications in order for you to connect the smartphone or use the Wi-Fi services in your home. So in that case, almost everybody is the target customer of telecom companies.